Alexis Mobs is a mod that adds a variety of new mobs into the game, ranging from small fish to giant animals to unique creatures, but also to new inhabitable biomes. Today, I will be discussing all the mobs that this mod adds and give you a concise guide to help you with the mod. Before we get into this video though, 98% of people that watch my videos aren't subscribed, so make sure to subscribe as it helps a lot with the channel. Let's begin with the banana slug. These are insects that can be found in old growth taiga biomes. They come in two different colors and are either spotted or unspotted. Since these are slugs, they can move very slowly and produce slime behind themselves. They are also capable of moving up and down the sides of blocks. In order to breed these guys, you need to feed them some brown mushrooms. They will also drop banana slug slime randomly when alive or upon death. The blobfish are a passive fish found underwater below Y level 25 in oceans. The blobfish can only survive in the water and will slowly die if they are on the land for too long. However, if you use a slime ball on them when on land, it will allow them to survive indefinitely. Quite like the strider, if a blobfish is under less than 10 blocks of water, it turns into a depressurized pink variant of itself. You can also collect them in a bucket quite like other fish. The blobfish will drop, funnily enough, the blobfish upon death, and this can be used to craft fish oil, or if consumed, restores 3 points of hunger and 3 saturation, alongside a nice poison effect. Blue jays are bright blue birds that spawn in forests and taiga biomes. They will be mainly seen flying around and they will attempt to eat any drop food that they find on the ground. If you feed this bird any type of seed, it chirps a song that can reveal the location of nearby monsters. The blue jay has the ability to team up with raccoons if they are both fed glowberries, where the blue jay will remain on its back until the raccoon attacks something. Also, this is a direct reference to Mordecai and Rigby in the regular show. Blue jays can be bred using maggots or crimson mosquito larvae. Upon being slain, they will drop feathers. The catfish are a type of fish that spawn underwater in river and swamp biomes. They come in 3 different sizes and they can also live in water. You can use sea lanterns to lure catfish out. The catfish can transport both items and mobs. Small or medium catfish will store items inside of their stomachs. The small can only store 3 stacks of items, whilst the medium variant can store up to 9 stacks. Unlike the other two, large catfish won't store items, but only one small mob that has a smaller hitbox than a full block. If you want to retrieve a mob or item from them, you can do this by either attacking or feeding them some sea pickles. They are able to digest a mob in their stomach after 2 to 3 days. Also, did you know a big catfish can actually eat a small villager? Kind of scary, right? Upon death, the catfish will drop a raw catfish, which can be consumed when cooked. The cockroach is one of the few mobs that spawn in caves. They are often seen scurrying around and tend to stay around areas with light level lower than 7. They will always try to avoid areas with higher light levels. They will consume any drop food item and are prey for cave centipedes. They will usually run away from you, however by using bread or sugar you can make them more comfortable. If a cockroach has 1 health, it will lose its head. However, it still functions normally without one, not like some people. Cockroaches will also dance near any jukebox that plays music quite similar to parrots. Cockroaches will dance when given a maraca to a song called La Cucaracha. Whilst they dance, they will use maracas and wear sombrero, and any cockroach near one that is currently playing maracas automatically starts dancing with them. This is actually a quite popular kids song about cockroaches. To breed cockroaches, simply feed them some sugar. The cockroach drops wings fragments, uthika, and potentially the maracas and sombrero if playing them. Comb jellies are passive mobs that can be found in frozen ocean biomes during the night. Like many water creatures, they will die if on land for too long. They can also be picked up into a bucket. Upon death, they drop rainbow jelly, which can be fed to other mobs to give them a rainbow effect. The cosmic cod spawns in all biomes of the end and will fly around in groups. If one of them is attacked, they will all teleport away. They cannot survive in the water, much like the Enderman. They can be collected in buckets and are prey for cosmos. Upon death, you will get the cosmic cod as a consumable, which has a 15% chance to grant you the ender flu, which will make you spawn an enderiophage. Crows are passive mobs that spawn in plains, forests, taiga, and meadow biomes. You will see them flying around as with any bird. They will attempt to eat any drop food item. Crows are infamous for damaging crops, so they will attempt to steal the crops for themselves. In order to prevent this, a carved pumpkin can be placed to scare the crows. They can be tamed and bred by tossing pumpkin seeds nearby them. Once tamed, the crows have 4 modes: follow, stay, wander, and gather items. If you're attacked, the tame crow will aid you in the fight, and a fun fact is that they deal additional damage to undead mobs. They will also regain health sitting on hay bales. When gathering items, they will bring them back to empty containers such as a chest with a matching item frame beside it, with the item that they are scavenging for. Upon death, they will drop feathers. The Devil's Hole pupfish is a passive mob found in the underwater Devil's Hole chunk. Only one of these chunks spawns per world, and the only way to locate it is to use a strange fish finder. The chunk itself is usually located in a desert or a badlands biome. Like the other fish, it can only live in water and be picked up by a bucket. These fish can often be seen chasing each other around and can reproduce quickly if there are 2 in the same place. These fish can peck on mossy cobblestone and other similar blocks to eat it, and afterwards you can obtain a slime ball left behind. The Endergrades are a passive mob that spawn in End Highlands and End Midlands. These guys have the ability to fly upwards at a slow pace, and they will also eat any chorus flowers they see. They will be often targeted by enderiophagers. These guys can be simply tamed by equipping them with a saddle, and tamed endergrades can be ridden, but can only be controlled if you are holding a chorus fruit on a stick, quite similar to pigs and striders. As you might have guessed, they can be bred with chorus fruit. Flutters are passive mobs found in the lush cave biomes. They can often be seen walking around or flapping their petals to fly around. They can be tamed using any type of flower, but they will only eat a single type of flower once. Tamed flutters can either stay, follow, or wander. They will also aid you in combat if attacked. Tamed flutters can be healed with flowers, and if a flower pot is used on a flutter, then it will wear it to gain armor points. If wearing a flower pot, they can be picked up by shift right clicking, and you can obtain a potted flutter. These flower pots can be removed using shears, and they can be bred with bone meal, and if bred near some regular azalea, then it will blossom. Flies are insect mobs that can be found in all overworld biomes except for oceans. They actually don't do much other than fly around or bite undead mobs. Spiders, frogs, and will attack any flies that they see. If a fly manages to reach the nether, then it transforms into a crimson mosquito. They can also be bred using rotten flesh, and upon death will drop maggots, which can be used to heal tamed warped toads. The flying fish can be found spawning in lukewarm ocean biomes. They can be sometimes seen breaching the water surface to glide, and they are prey to seals and dolphins. They also come in 3 colors, light blue, dark blue, and grey, and work like any other fish that has been mentioned. Gazelles can spawn in savanna biomes. They will be seen walking around in large herds. If one is attacked, the other will run away along with the victim. However, sometimes one gets left behind. Gazelles can be bred using acacia blossoms or wheat. Upon death, they will drop raw mutton and gazelle horns, which can be used to make swiftness potions. The hummingbirds are passive mobs that spawn in jungles, flower forests, and sunflower plains and meadow biomes. They will often be seen flying and zooming around, and they are capable of pollinating flowers and are actually better at it than bees. Hummingbirds' feeders can be used to keep them in place if filled with water or sugar. Active feeders can also boost effects of the pollination, and they can be bred with any type of flowers, and as a fun fact, they are actually the fastest mobs added into this mod. Jerboas can be found in desert biomes during the night. They are nocturnal and will sleep during the day, but will move around during the night. They move like rabbits by hopping around. They can be attacked by rattlesnakes, foxes, and cats if they are spotted. Jerboas can be fed seeds and will even beg and follow players holding some. If you do feed a jerboa seeds, then it will reward you with the fleet-footed effect, and they can be bred with maggots, crimson mosquito larvae, or leafcutter ant pupae. The leviathan can be found in the nether lava seas. They are capable of moving on land and swim in lava. There are 2 types, the standard and obsidian leviathan, and the obsidian variant can also swim in water. They're also able to crawl over flat land very slowly. These creatures will hunt down crimson mosquitoes. They can be equipped with both a stratolite saddle and stratolite tack. If equipped with both of these, they are less likely to flee. Tamed leviathans allow up to 4 players to mount them. They can be healed using magma cream, and in order to breed one, you must use a crimson mosquito larvae. They will drop blackstone, magma blocks, and obsidian depending on their variant. The maned wolf can be rarely found in savanna biomes, they will often be seen wandering around. Feeding one an apple will cause it to shake its fur, which leads to a bad smell in the process. This smell will attract all nearby mobs towards it as long as they are not monsters. This smell can also be used to increase the growth rate of Gondolidia in nearby leafcutter ant chambers. They will produce this stench for 5 seconds. In order to be bred, you must use a raw chicken or raw rabbit. If one is nearby an active jukebox, it will proceed to dance. If you name one of these wolves either Plummet, Plummet Studios, Ender, or Ender Main Wolf, it will change its appearance to an end-like wolf. The mimic octopus can be found in warm ocean biomes. The only way to keep them alive on land is to use a slime ball on a tamed octopus and reapply every 2 days. As in the name, the octopus can mimic colors of blocks or even mobs, and while camouflage will regain its health. The octopus can mimic mobs such as creepers, guardians, and even pufferfish. In order to tame one, you can use lobster tails if they are not camouflaged. They have 3 modes similar to the other tameable mobs, but using certain items will force it to camouflage. Gunpowder for the creeper form, prismarine shards or crystals for the guardian, pufferfish for the pufferfish form. You can also provide it with mimic cream to give it the ability to perform attacks while mimicking another mob. It will actually mimic the mob's attacks it's camouflaged as. In order to tame these creatures, you can use tropical fish, and upon death they will drop ink sacs. Mud skippers can be found in mangrove swamps. They are semi-aquatic creatures that can last in both land and water. Mud skippers can be tamed using lobster tails and have 3 standard modes. In order to breed them, use maggots, crimson mosquito larvae, or leafcutter ant pupae. The mungus inspired by Among Us is a mob that spawns in mushroom fields. They can sometimes spawn with mushrooms on their head. If they have one on their head, they will fire beams at mushrooms, and if this mushroom is played on mycelium or podzol, then it turns into a large mushroom. Otherwise, the mushrooms spread to adjacent blocks. They will sometimes randomly shed mungal spores. If a munga is killed whilst 5 mushrooms are on its back, then the sac on its back will explode, which causes the affected biome to change. A biome's transformation can be reverted by feeding a nearby mungus a poisonous potato. They can also be bred using mungal spores. Upon death or whilst they are alive, they drop mungal spores, which can be used to attract rabbits and can be fed to transform them into bun fungus. Also, by naming a mungus Drip, it will give it a pair of sneakers as a reference to Among Us Drip meme. Patus can be found in dark forests. They rarely do anything during the day and will perch on a tree and sleep throughout the daytime. During nighttime, they are more active and will remain on their perch and will only leave to catch flies that get too close. Occasionally, they will let off a yawn, and depending on light levels, their eyes will have tiny pupils in light levels above 7 and enormous pupils in light levels below 7. They can be moved around using a falconry glove. Patus can be bred using maggots and upon death drop their feathers. Rain frogs can be found in desert biomes during rain. They come in 3 variants: cream, brown, and tan. They are often found buried in sand blocks and only come out when it rains or if they get attacked. Rain frogs that are dug out will never submerge themselves again. If attacked, they puff up and emit a loud squeaking sound. They will also dance nearby active jukeboxes, and after enough time has passed, it will actually begin to rain. They can be bred using maggots. Roadrunners can be found in deserts and badland biomes. Roadrunners will simply run around searching for rattlesnakes to attack. They will drop feathers and roadrunner feathers, which can be used to craft roadrunner boots and the falconry hood. They can be bred with maggots, and if named Meep or Meep Meep, it will change its texture to resemble the famous Roadrunner from Looney Tunes. Seagulls can be found in beach biomes, and even though they are passive, they will steal food from other players. When it spots a player with food in their hotbar, it will chase them down until it takes a food item from the hotbar. Seagulls holding food in their beak will not consume food until 5 seconds have passed, and they cannot steal again for another 3 minutes. They can be used to locate buried treasure by holding a buried treasure map in the offhand and throwing a lobster tail on the ground. It will consume the tail and fly towards the buried treasure. Once it locates the treasure, it will sit on top of the block that is above it. Seagulls can be bred with rockcod, and if a seagull is named Wingull, it gains the appearance of the Pokemon of the same name. Seals can be found found in beaches and frozen ocean biomes. They are semi-aquatic creatures that can survive in both land and water. They are lazy and will spend most of their time laying down on any nearby sand or ice blocks. When a seal is swimming, they are often circling harmless aquatic creatures. If one is attacked, the rest will panic and flee to nearby water sources. You can also barter with seals by giving them 3 cooked or raw fish. They will begin to dive into nearby water sources, scavenging for a reward. The list is pretty big of all possible rewards. They can be bred using lobster tails. If a seal is named he was or he was forced to, then it will have a crying face and background of its name becomes white, and this is a reference to a seal meme. Shoebills can be found in swamp biomes. They are timid and will fly away if attacked. They will also attack any baby turtles, crocodiles, alligators, snapping turtles, terrapins, or caimans. They can be seen occasionally fishing for loot by putting their heads into the water. Crocodile eggs can be fed to them to increase their lure on catches, and terrapin eggs to increase their luck. Shoebills will eat the fish from fishing and discard valuable items, making them ideal for fish farms. Specters can be found in small end island biomes, and they can only be damaged using magic such as potions and can be lured out by holding a soul heart near one. You can actually use a lead to hold onto the specter when it flies, which is useful for traveling between islands. They make similar sounds to the phantoms, which indicates they may be related. Stradpoles can be found in small lava pools of basalt delta biomes. You may also see straddlers throw them as an attack. Stradpoles live in water or lava, but they do not die on land. As they are larvae of straddlers, they cannot grow up naturally without being fed crimson mosquito larvae to grow into a straddler. They also look pretty goofy. Sugar gliders can be found in birch forest biomes, and they will mostly walk but occasionally use their arms to glide. Baby variants cannot glide, and you can use sweet berries to tame them. They also possess the ability to climb walls. Tamed sugar gliders have 3 modes and can't attack other mobs. Tamed sugar gliders can be placed on top of your head by shift clicking to get the slow falling effect. A tamed adult variant standing on top of a leaf block will occasionally forage in attempt to retrieve items. You can breed these guys with a honeycomb. The terrapin are river turtles, which can be found in, you guessed it, rivers. They are semi-aquatic and can live on land. They can spawn with several mutations. If the player stomps on one of these, it forces it into its shell. However, if it's already in the shell, it will start spinning and launch in the direction you are facing. You can breed them using seagrass, and they come in different colors, which mix when bred, leading to 800 possible combinations. If you name one Koopa or Koopa Troopa, it will give a skin based off of the Mario anime. Toucans can be found in the jungle biomes. When fed an apple or a banana, they have a chance to plant that fruit saplings. Apples make them plant oak saplings, whilst bananas make them plant jungle saplings. Feeding one a golden apple will permanently transform it into a golden toucan that can plant saplings faster, whilst an enchanted golden apple makes it so that they do not need to be fed apples or bananas constantly to keep placing saplings. They can be bred with eggs and come in 5 different variants. If you name one Sam or Toucan Sam, it gains the appearance of the cereal mascot of the same name. Treops are known as tadpole shrimps and can spawn in underwater desert or badland biomes. They are an aquatic mob, and if crimson mosquitoes are dropped near them, it will be intimidated and begin to shiver and fly away from the treop. Treops can be fed with carrots. Alright, let's move on to our first neutral mob, which is the anteater. Anteaters can be found in jungle biomes that will fight back if attacked first. Baby anteaters will ride on the back of an adult. They will consume any leafcutter ants by using their tongue. Anteaters can sometimes be seen raiding leafcutter anthills by using their claws to dig inside of them. While digging, they can drop various items. They can be bred with leafcutter ant pupae. If you name one Peter or Peter the Anteater, then it gains the University of California uniform based off of their mascot. The bald eagle can be found in windswept forests and grove biomes. They will fight back if provoked and can often be seen flying around searching for prey, such as salmon or rabbits. They can attack them by lifting them off the ground or killing them mid-air. They can be tamed using fish oil and have 3 standard modes and will aid you if under attack. Tamed bald eagles can be picked up using a falconry glove, which will put it into your hand. Left-clicking at another entity will instead cause the eagle to attack that entity and come back to the owner. A falconry HUD can be added onto a bald eagle. If then launched from the glove, the owner will have the ability to control exactly where it goes. Just keep in mind this leaves you in a vulnerable state, as you cannot control your player character during this time. The falconry hood can be removed using shears. To breed bald eagles, simply use rotten flesh on them. The bison can be found in the plains, meadows, and snowy plains biomes. The The bison will fight itself, although it cannot do much harm. They're capable of clearing snow layers in their way and can often be seen munching on grass blocks. Bisons can be sheared to obtain bison fur without having to kill them, similarly to sheep. If a bison ends up in a snowy weather, its pelt becomes coated with snow, but this can also be manually done by using a snow layer on one. Snow can be removed off of them using a shovel, or if it ends up in water, rain, or a hot biome. Bisons can be bred using wheat. They also use the cow walking sound, as in fact they are related to cows in real life. The bun fungus can rarely spawn in the mushroom fields, or if a rabbit is fed Mongol spores. They will headbutt you if provoked and will sleep during the day, but at the night wake up and begin hunting any monsters. Since they are rabbits, they can leap great distances. You can actually make them completely passive by simply feeding one a carrot. This also heals them. As you could tell, this mob is inspired by the Big Chungus meme, and they will also drop red mushrooms upon death. Cachalot whales are found in most of the ocean biomes. They are an aquatic mob and use echolocation to detect nearby mobs. If it encounters a giant squid, a fight between the two will break out. Whilst in water, they can be seen blowing bubbles from their blowhole, and they possess the ability to break ice, boats, and blocks made from wood. They can be sometimes seen sleeping vertically during the night. The baby cachalot whales are often prey for orcas, and the parents will defend their young. Rarely, an albino white version can be found with red eyes. These variants have increased health. Sometimes during thunderstorms, these whales have a rare chance of spawning on the beach biome. If it is pushed back into the water here, without being hurt, it will cough out some ambergris. It will drop cachalot whale teeth upon attacking a squid, which can be used to craft an echolocator. Caimans can be found in the mangrove swamp biomes. They are semi-aquatic, and they can be tamed by being near their eggs as soon as they hatch. They have 3 default modes and will aid the owner upon battle. If you want to breed one, use a raw catfish. Despite them being similar to crocodiles though, caimans will be attacked by them. Capuchin monkeys are found in jungle biomes. They come in 4 different variants and will spawn in troops. They will fight you back by throwing cobblestone at you. If an untamed monkey is fed bananas, there's a chance for one to drop a banana peel. You can tame them by feeding bananas. If you shift right click on a tamed monkey, it will ride on your shoulders. They can also be given an ancient dart to upgrade their attack damage and add piercing to their attacks. Tame variants can be healed by using eggs by dropping them near them. And you can breed 2 monkeys using maggots. Cosmos can rarely spawn in all biomes at the end. Cosmos will fly around and are unable to land. They will also attack cosmic cods. They can be tamed by feeding them cosmic cod and have 3 default modes. Tame cosmos, however, can only attack cosmic cods, nothing else. A cool feature about this mob is that if you have it tamed and proceed to fall into the void, it will use its proboscis to prevent you from falling in and fly to a nearby island to place you there. They will also try to do this if you're bound to take fall damage if they're close enough. Tame cosmos can be healed using chorus fruit and can be bred with cosmic cod. The elephants can be found in savanna biomes but can also spawn if a wandering trader spawns in a hot biome, as they will spawn in riding an elephant. Elephants usually spawn in herds and each herd is led by a leader elephant. If one elephant is attacked, the others will come to its defense. They will also run away from bees. If they come with a wandering trader, they will wear a unique carpet and a chest containing loot. Elephants may be tamed using acacia blossoms, but only standard and baby elephants can be tamed like this. If you want to tame a leader, it needs to be a baby first. Tamed elephants can be ridden and will aid you in a battle. Carpets of any color can be placed on the elephant, and the same with chests. Tamed leader elephants can be fed wheat while being ridden to make them charge attack. They can be bred also by using acacia blossoms. If carpet or chest is worn, it will drop these upon death. The emu can be found in badlands and savannas and come in 3 different variants. They will either run away or attack you upon being attacked. If a projectile is shot at one, it has a chance to dodge it, but if it is running away, it cannot dodge these. Emus will attack any mobs that holds bows or crossbows. They can be bred with wheat and on rare occasions can produce an albino version. They can drop feathers, and emu eggs, which can be used to craft outback leggings. The frilled shark can be found in underwater levels below Y-25 in oceans and are aquatic mobs. They will attack other fish and will try to hunt them. Their texture slightly changes upon coming closer to the surface, and they move a lot slower too. If one is named Kamada-kun, it gains a yellow texture based off of the monster from the Godzilla franchise. They will drop serrated shark teeth upon attacking squids, which can be used to craft the shield of the deep. The Gelada monkey can be found in meadow biomes. They will spawn in groups where each group has a leader. If attacked, the group will come to their defense. Leader monkeys will fight each other, although they don't kill one another. Before fighting, they challenge each other by rearing fangs to each other or showing their chests. They will sometimes forage grass if standing on top of a grass block, and will approach non-rival Galata monkeys and groom them for a few seconds. If Galata monkey is fed wheat, it begins to destroy any tall grass it finds for a few minutes. It can be fed dead bushes to be bred. Giant squids can be rarely found in deep oceans underwater below Y-25, or if a squid is struck by lightning. They are an aquatic mob that attacks the player and other threats in the water. Their texture becomes paler depending how close they are to the surface. The pupil in the eye of the squid expands depending on how close an entity is to it. If a cachalot whale detects a giant squid, then they will battle each other. If the whale wins the fight, then some lost tentacles are dropped. Gorillas are found in jungle biomes and spawn in groups where each one is led by a silverback gorilla. They can occasionally bang their chest and will attack you back. Baby gorillas may ride on the back of an adult. Gorillas will often feed on leaves, and they can be tamed using bananas. They have 2 modes and will aid you in battle. A tamed normal gorilla with a tamed silverback can be bred using bananas. They have a couple of secret textures. Upon naming one Harambe, it will gain a halo upon its head, referencing to the infamous Harambe gorilla. If named DK or Donkey Kong, it gains the texture of the famous Donkey Kong. If named Funky Kong, it applies another texture from the game. Kangaroos can be found in badlands and savannas, and they only move by hopping, and you can see baby kangaroos inside of adult pouches sometimes. To tame one, you need to feed it carrots, and they will have 3 modes. It will aid you in battles, and their pouch can be used as a storage container. If a melee weapon, helmet, or chestplate is placed inside of the pouch, the kangaroo will actually equip these, and they can use these in combat. Plant-based food can also be placed inside of their pouches to let it regain health if it is injured. In order to breed them, you can use grass or death bushes. If you name Kangaroo Roger, it gains a halo above its head, which is a reference to a deceased kangaroo. They will drop kangaroo meat and kangaroo hide, which is also used to make outback leggings. Leafcutter ants are found in leafcutter anthills and jungles. They will attack you if you stomp on or destroy their anthill, and there are 2 types of ants, workers and queens. Workers are small and can often be seen leaving the colony to collect leaves, whereas queens are large and appear when stomping an anthill. They can sometimes be seen getting attacked by anteaters. Every colony has 1 queen and max of 25 worker ants. Upon successful leaf collection, the ant chambers will have a chance to spread into nearby dirt blocks and will also grow Gondolidia. If a maned wolf is secreting its smell nearby, the growth rate will be increased for a bit. To harvest Gondolidia, a shroom light must be placed next to a fully grown ant chamber with Gondolidia secretion. They can also be fed Gondolidia to heal them from damage. A new colony can be started as well, using leafcutter ant pupae. The lobster can be found in underwater beach biomes. They come in many different colors and are semi-aquatic, while white and black variants being the rarest. They drop lobster tails, which can be consumed as food. Other than that, they're pretty useless. Mantis shrimps are found in warm oceans and mangrove swamps. They are aquatic mobs that come in 4 different variants, and they will attack other underwater mobs. One can be tamed using tropical fish and has 4 different modes, one being breaking blocks to one that's identical to the one that it is holding. They will also aid you in battle and can be healed with fish of any type. To give them a block, simply sneak right click them with the block in your hand, and they can be bred with lobster tails. The moose can be found in snowy plains, snowy taiga, grove, and icepack biomes. They can either come with or without antlers. They will also fight themselves, although this doesn't involve death. The moose will lose their antlers every 7 to 10 days, but will grow it after 3 to 5 days. They will also defend themselves from wolves. If it snows, they will end up with snow on their pelts. A moose can be bred with multiple feedings of dandelions. They will drop raw moose ribs and moose antlers, which can be used to make an antler headdress. Orcas are also known as killer whales, are neutral mobs that spawn in underwater cold ocean and frozen ocean biomes. They are aquatic mobs that hunt in groups on other aquatic prey, including the moose. The texture of the orca depends on the coordinates of their spawn point, and if the player swims with the orcas long enough, you receive the orca's might effect. Raccoons are found in plains, forests, taiga, and meadow biomes. During the night, the eyes of the raccoon will glow. If you hold an item near them, it will start to beg to be fed. If it obtains a food item, it will proceed to hold it in its mouth until it finds a water source to wash the food before consuming it. If no water is nearby though, it will just eat the food. If a raccoon finds a storage container, it will steal any food items from it. They will also rob villagers. They can be tamed by giving them an egg and have 3 standard modes. They will aid you in fights. To breed one, you must give them bread. Naming a raccoon a Rigby will give it a skin based off of the character from the regular show, and if one attempts to wash sugar, it will dissolve as a reference to a YouTube video of a raccoon washing cotton candy. They will drop raccoon tails, which can be used to craft Frontier Man's cap. The snow leopard can be found in snowy slopes, jagged peaks, and frozen peak biomes. They hunt a variety of mobs and can also often be seen sitting or resting. Snow leopards are capable of walking on 2 blocks placed on top of each other, and they do not take fall damage. They can also walk on powdered snow. When they kill its prey, it has a looting effect on the mob drops, and they can be bred using raw moose ribs. The tarantula hawk are found in desert and badland biomes. They will attack any spider or threats using sting, which applies the debilitating sting effect. They are able to paralyze spiders using this effect. Afterwards, it will grab the spider and drag it around until it proceeds to bury it if there are any sand blocks nearby. They can be fed spider eyes to be tamed and have 3 standard modes. They can also be healed using flowers. To breed them, use fermented spider eyes. Since they are parasitoids, they spawn baby variants by laying an egg inside of a spider. If a tarantula hog grub spawns in the nether, it then takes on the nether variant when growing up. The Tasmanian devil can be found in the forest biomes. It hunts a variety of small mobs including rabbits and chickens. They can often be seen resting, and they can chew drop bones to transform them into bone meal. They can be fed rotten flesh to give it red eyes and make it howl. Upon doing so, hostile mobs will run away, and these devils can be bred using any form of meat except for rotten flesh, of course. The Underminer is a mob found in abandoned mineshafts, but only if you spend a lot of time in one. Underminers are capable of walking through blocks since they are ghosts. If they are approached, they will disappear temporarily, and they sometimes are seen mining blocks with their pickaxes, but they cannot actually break the block. They will only break blocks that have ores located behind them. If a specific ore block is dropped near them, they will search for that ore. They also come in 3 different variants, where one of them resembles the infamous Herobrine. Pretty cool feature. They will also drop a ghostly pickaxe, which are equal to iron pickaxes, except it can store up to 9 stacks of materials within the pickaxe itself. The warped toad can be found in warped forest biomes. They are capable of walking on both water and lava, and will attack any small or medium-sized insect mobs. To tame one, simply feed it crimson mosquito larvae. They behave similar to any tame mob that can be healed using maggots, and to breed them, you can also use crimson mosquito larvae. If one is named Pepe, then it will change its skin to the famous Pepe meme. They will also drop netherwort and shroom lights. But it is now time to get into the defensive mobs, meaning these are mobs that defend themselves if you closely approach them or attack them. Firstly is the alligator snapping turtle, which can rarely be found in swamp biomes. They are semi-aquatic, and moss will build up on them if they spend half a day in the water. They can be sheared to obtain seagrass and have a 5% chance to drop spiked scute instead. They can also be bred using raw cod. Enderiophasias can be found in Ed Midlands, but can also spawn from the Ender flu effect. They can also be built. They're capable of flying by using DNA particles to propel them forwards. They can be built using end rods with a capside containing Eye of Ender on top. If built in the overworld or nether, it will take a variant exclusive to that dimension. These mobs infect other mobs with the End Flu and will naturally target Ender grades. They can regain their Eye of Ender by attacking an Enderman, but these mobs were meant to be a reference to the COVID-19 and drop the capsid, which can be used to make Enderiophage rockets. Grizzly bears are mobs that can be found in forest and taiga biomes. Grizzly bears can often be seen with 1 or 2 cubs following them. They will tear through bee nests or beehives filled with honey to obtain honeycombs. They are also immune to bee sting. Bears that have eaten honey will become neutral towards you. You can easily tame them when they have eaten honey by feeding them some raw salmon. They have 3 modes and are able to be ridden and will fight alongside you. To breed them, use raw salmon on a tamed grizzly bear. They can also appear with snowy pelt if they have been coated with snow. They drop hair of bear and bear dust rarely, which can be used to make some other items. The platypus spawn rarely in rivers. They are semi-aquatic, and if fed with redstone, they will begin to search for nearby clay blocks and will start to dig out several of these blocks and maggots. If a block of redstone is used, then the amount of dug up items is increased, and very rarely the fedora can be obtained. They can be bred using lobster tails, and if one of them is named Perry or Perry the Platypus, it gives it a skin based off of the character from Phineas and Ferb. The rattlesnake is found in desert and badlands biomes. If closely approached, they will make an irritating rattling sound with their tail to warn you. However, if a baby version is threatened, then they will chase you instead of attempting to bite you multiple times. They are also prey for roadrunners and will attack jerboas. They can be bred with any form of meat and drop rattlesnake rattles, which are used to craft maracas. The rhino can be found in savanna biomes and will attack you by charging into you. They are also not fans of any illager mobs. They can be pacified by using wheat, and they will come in defense of the feeder. Pacified rhinos will stay in your villages. If a rhino is hit with a potion, that potion effect actually applies to its horns. They can be bred using grass or dead bushes. The skunk can be found in forest and taiga biomes. They are able to defend themselves with their gas, which applies the nausea effect. The gas can be obtained with a bottle to get the stink in a bottle. Baby skunks cannot spray gas, and they can be bred using sweet berries. Sunbirds are found rarely in stony peaks, jagged peaks, and frozen peak biomes. If you manage to get near one without attacking it, then it will grant you the Sunbird's blessing effect. If a sunbird gets near any undead mobs that are not immune to fire, then it will create the sun effect and set undead mobs on fire. It will also orbit any activated beacons that they find. They are also immune to all fire damage. They were mainly inspired by the Pokemon Ho-Oh. But let's get into some of the plactable mobs in this mod. These are mobs that attack unless a specific requirement is met. The Anaconda can be found in the swamp and mangrove swamp biomes. They will attack unless you pacified them with raw chicken. They are semi-aquatic and will swallow their victims whole, where they may drop some shed snake skin. Pacified anacondas can be bred with raw chicken. With the shed snake skin, you can make a vine lasso and a banner pattern. Bone serpents can be found in the nether lava seas. They will attack you unless you are wearing an unsettling kimono or riding a straddleboard enchanted with serpent charmer. They can often attack wither skeletons and soul vultures and will leap out of the lava. They are capable of swimming in water or lava, and if you've ever played Terraria, you might have already noticed the mob is heavily inspired by the bone serpent from Terraria. Upon death, they drop bones, bone blocks, and bone serpent teeth, which can be used to make a potion of lava vision. The cave centipede can be found in caves beneath Y level 0, and they will attack you unless you have the bug pheromone effect, which is inflicted by being attacked by a hostile arthropod. They inflict poison and prey on cockroaches. They are capable of climbing blocks and drop cave centipede legs, which are used to make cave centipede leggings. The crimson mosquito can be found in crimson forest biomes, or if a fly is in the nether for too long. They will attack you unless you have the bug pheromone or mosquito repellent effect. They will suck out blood of their prey and fire the blood back at them. They will only attack warm-blooded animals, and if it is killed while their sac is full of blood, it may drop blood sac. If the mosquito drinks the blood of a mungus, which is coated in warped fungus, then the crimson mosquito turns blue and starts to grow in size, eventually turning into a warped mosco. They will drop crimson mosquito probiosis, which are used to craft blood sprayers, hemolymph blaster, and crimson mosquito larvae. The crocodile can be found in river, swamp, and mangrove swamp biomes. Crocodiles will attack unless it is placated with rotten flesh or was spawned from the crocodile egg. They are semi-aquatic and will attack you with their jaw. A shield can be used to stun a lunging crocodile. To tame a crocodile, you have to be near their eggs as soon as they hatch, and they have 2 modes and attack any monsters. They will also drop some crocodile scoots when they grow up. Crocodiles that hatch in a warm biome will take on a paler color, and crocodiles can be bred with rotten flesh. If you name one of these guys King, Rule, or Crown, it changes its skin to the Donkey Kong character. The frost stalker can be found in the ice spikes and the frozen peak biomes. They will attack you unless you're wearing a frost stalker helmet. It also attacks a handful of mobs, but predominantly Tusclan. If they enter a warm biome, then it will be inflicted with weakness and their spikes begin to melt off. They're almost always seen with spikes on their back. If they have the spikes, they have the ability to freeze water when standing on it. If they are injured though, they will shake off ice shards, which can deal damage to nearby mobs, but the spikes come off afterwards. They can regain them, however, by simply going into the water. Pacified frost stalkers will follow you, will aid you in battle. They can also be bred using raw pork chops. They will drop ice, packed ice, and blue ice, and froststalker horns, which can be used to make their helmets. Hammerhead sharks are found in underwater warm ocean biomes. They are aquatic and will attack you if you are injured or attack them. They mainly target other fish and will hunt them by circling their target before dashing at them. They drop shark teeth that can be used to make shark tooth arrows and shield of the deep. Komodo dragons are found in sparse jungle biomes. They will attack you unless they are tamed. They attack a variety of mobs, including other Komodo dragons that are weakened. They will often be seen wrestling other Komodo dragons, and in order to tame them, simply feed them rotten flesh. They have 3 modes and can be ridden by using a saddle. They aid you in battle and can be bred using rotten flesh. If a dragon is named Koda or Maid, then it wears a maid's outfit. They will occasionally drop Komodo dragon spit when alive, which can be used to make slime balls. Skellywags are found near shipwrecks underwater. They are aquatic mobs and will attack you unless you are wearing an unsettling kimono. They also attack dolphins and can sometimes spawn with a ripped skull and crossbones banners on their back. Sometimes Skellywags can be found with drowned riding them. They drop bones, fish bones, and rarely Skellywag skulls and novelty hats. Soul vultures can be found near fossils of soul sand valleys. They can only land on bone blocks and will attack you unless you are wearing an unsettling kimono. They will target piglins and piglin broods, but they are prey for bone serpents. They will drop bones, coal, and soul hearts, which can be used to lure specters. Tigers can be found in bamboo jungle and cherry grove biomes. They will attack you unless you have the tiger's blessing effect. Before attacking, they will turn almost completely invisible and also have visible red eyes. They have the ability to walk through leaf blocks, and tigers that have been fed any kind of meat will grant you this blessing effect. If under this effect, any tigers will come to aid you in battle, and they can be bred with acacia blossoms only if under the tiger's blessing effect. They appear in two different variants, white and normal. Tusklins are found in ice spikes biomes and will attack you unless you have fed them brown mushrooms. They attack similarly to hoglins. Baby tusklins will sometimes dig up brown mushrooms from beneath the dirt. If a tusklin moves to the nether, they will turn into a hoglin. You can ride a non-pacified tusklin by using a saddle. Riding time can be increased if wearing ancient hog shoes. When pacified, they can be bred with red or brown mushrooms, and they will drop pork chops and snowballs upon death. But it is time to get into hostile mobs. These mobs will always attack you. The drop bear can be found in the nether waste. They are aggressive and capable of jumping vertically and can climb upside down on blocks. If any entity comes underneath blocks the drop bear is climbing on, they will jump down and attack you. If they land on its target, they can deal damage, and upon death they will drop bear claws, which can be used to craft flint and steel and the tendon whip. The farseer can be found either inside or right outside of the world border in any dimension. The only way to reach them is using a shattered dimensional carver multiple times in any single direction. They're aggressive and ignore armor and enchantments, making them very deadly. Upon death, they drop farseer arms, which are used to make a transmutation table. Gusters can be found in desert and badland biomes during rain time. They are aggressive and shoot sand at you. They can also pull nearby mobs and spin them into the air, and they have 3 different variants depending on what biome they spawn in: standard, red, and soul. They can be damaged by water, and if a Guster is named Twister, then its texture gains googly eyes as a reference to Paper Mario anime. They will drop their respective sand block if killed, glass if killed by fire, and Guster eyes, which can be used to make the Gust Maker and Pocket of Sand. The Minikube is found in the end cities. They are hostile and jump towards you to hit you. If you were holding a weapon or wearing a helmet, then attack the Minikube, it will copy them and use them in battle. This means the stronger you are, the harder it is to kill. They can also copy food and will use it to heal themselves. They drop mini cream upon death, which is used to craft the Hemolymph Blaster. The Murmur spawns in cherry groves during night or in caves beneath Y level -30. They are hostile and extend their necks to bite you. If a Murmur's head or neck is hit, then the damage received is half. Despite being undead though, they are not affected by undead pacification using the unsettling kimono. They will also attack villagers. Upon death, they will drop elastic tendons, red wool, and rarely the unsettling kimono, and the tendons being used to craft the tendon whip. The Rocky Roller can be found in dripstone caves. They are aggressive and will roll towards you. If it falls and lands on the ground during a roll, it will give any nearby player the earthquake effect. These mobs have a lot of armor points and are capable of tanking a ton of damage. They resemble the Golem from the Pokemon series. Upon death, they drop tough, pointed dripstone and rocky shells, which are used to make the rock shell chest plates. Straddlers are found in basalt delta biomes. They can also spawn if a stradpole is fed crimson mosquito larvae. They are hostile and will attack you by launching stradpoles, and they are also capable of walking in lava and water. They drop basalt and are rarely stradolite upon death, which can be used to make a couple of cool items such as the straddle board and the stradolite tack. But now on to the only chief mob in the game, which is a toughened version of an existing mob. The Ward Moscow is summoned by using Among Us on the Crimson Mosquito. They will attack players and other mobs by punching, slamming, grabbing, and spitting Hemolymph. This mob is inspired by the Pokemon Buzzwole. Upon death, it will drop the Hemolymph sacks and warped muscles. But be very careful of this mob. mob. The mod adds a single boss mob into the game called the Void Worm. It is summoned using a mysterious worm which is obtained by placing crimson mosquito larvae in capsid. Throwing a mysterious worm into the void in the end will spawn in the Void Worm, and this can only be done after an ender dragon has been defeated. Is several attacks which include 4 green homing crystals, a bite attack, and a portal attack where it uses portals to reach areas much quicker. Once enough damage is done to the worm, it will split into 2 but its health gets halved. New Void Worms will continue to spawn upon attacking the body of the Void Worm. When the Void Worm is defeated, it drops 2 Void Worm mandibles, 1 Void Worm eye, the necessary ingredients to craft the Dimensional Carver. But in conclusion, I recommend this mod to anyone looking for a brand new Minecraft experience, with the addition of many mobs, biomes, and items to make Minecraft feel fresh again. Remember, if you enjoyed, make sure to give the video a like, but also subscribe for more of these types of videos. Also, if I missed out on any information, make sure to comment it down on this video. And anyways guys, enjoy the rest of your journey with this mod, and have a good rest of your day. Peace, and good luck.